Dear viewers, welcome to the analysis of YOLENO TV. I hope you're well from wherever you're watching this channel. I'd like to start by appreciating everyone who is making this channel grow. If you wish to support us, just subscribe to our channel and also give this video a like. It is now evident that things in the Kenya Kwanza government are beginning to fall apart. Maybe this is the time the loot all narrative is beginning to be visible. I am saying so because there is a topic that I saw online from one of the leading media stations that Ruto cabinet secretary who missed out on loot exposed toxic sugar deal. You see, let us be honest here. This regime, last year before they took over the government, used to go heads-on on Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, terming Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta as a corrupt government. Hardly 1 year in this government, the new government, or the new regime led by William Ruto, hardly 1 year, and now we're beginning to see scandal after scandal. We are yet to get full details on the 3.5 billion money that was expended on the fertilizer, which to date, most farmers say that they never received. Most of them say they never received. And again, we didn't see the result of that fertilizer. So again, there is going to be a report on the same, I believe so, because if the fertilizer was meant to, caution farmers on the high cost of fertilizers so they could afford it, they could have it at an affordable rate, and which in return it would produce more maize, and more maize would maybe bring down the cost of unga. If that was to be the case, then that did not happen, because the maize that was used to bring down the little amount on the cost of unga was imported. That is what we know, and that's what William Ruto said, that there's maize that is coming. That day, that when he was, I think, in the Mount Kenya, and then he said that unga kuna meli inakuja na ikishafika hivi the following day unga itashuka. That is what I remember hearing William Ruto say. Multiple sources within the government, disclosed how the senior official and 2 MPs from central Kenya hatched a plot to release the condemned sugar that was stored at the ICDC in Mombasa Customs depot by Kenya Revenue Authority. So, according to the sources, that the CS in question, the one who exposed this scandal, the CS in question said to have gotten wind of the deal and demanded a cut. He is said to have been seeking his spoils through a senior official in one of the implicated agencies. The said official was among those suspended when the scandal broke. I want to be honest with you. I decided to take some small research on this aspect of the CS, and the name that kept popping up was Moses Kuria. That is the name that kept popping up on this issue. But we know that Moses Kuria heads the Department of Trade, the Ministry of Trade. So after doing some small research, Moses Kuria's name kept popping up. And again, you look at Moses Kuria comes from the central Kenya. So it fits the bill in this narrative of the CS who exposed this deal. What if it's Moses Kuria? The information that we found that has been circulating is that these people who conducted this alleged theft on this sugar could have come from the Mount Kenya, and the CS who exposed them also could have come from the Mount Kenya. And it is alleged that this CS wanted a fair share of that spoil, but because he could not get his cut, so he ended up exposing these people. That is what we gather online. So it's alleged that all this were happening while the consignment had been sold, with some players allegedly pocketing the entire amount. The MP reached out to the Kenya Revenue Authority about what was happening. KRA conducted some investigation before briefing the president like 2 weeks ago. But then, according to other sources, the CS was disgruntled after missing out on the loot and decided to escalate the matter with the powers that be. Some sources, however, said that the CS was a whistleblower but was now being sucked into the scandal allegedly for political expediency. It is also said that it was after their brief exposing the release of the toxic sugar that the president called in the director of criminal investigation, Amin Mohammed, to launch a probe into the matter. The story continues to say that yesterday, Ruto declared he will personally lead the war on graft, declaring that he will have no favorites in his administration. And this is what the William Ruto said. I will take personal responsibility for the accountability of the resources of this country. No one will be allowed to steal the republic's resources. You try and you will encounter me personally. That is what Dr. Ruto said. I have told everyone, my friends and those who are not my friends, that corrupting public resources is a no-go zone. I will be speaking less on this, but action will declare my intentions louder. So, dear viewers, that is what is as far as that scandal is concerned. So, in that story, you've realized that there's a CS, there's an MP mentioned, there is KRA being roped in this scandal, then Amin Mohammed has been called in to conduct the thorough investigation. But then from that story again, William Ruto has decided to be the DCI himself and be a DCI himself, be a judge himself, and be a DPP himself. So he will assume the three. That is, investigate, prosecute, and convict. William Ruto has said that he's going to assume those roles. So let's address this issue extensively. Earlier on, we saw there was the issue of KEMSA. KEMSA. That is also a scandal that that was realized in this regime. The scandal of toxic sugar, again, this regime, there is a fertilizer scandal that is looming. It is not going to take a lot of time before that also comes to the public domain, the fertilizer scandal. Because we, as much as we want to believe that the fertilizer were utilized, we've seen so many farmers come publicly to say that they never received that fertilizer. The issue of fertilizer, first of all, came about when it was exposed, that is last year in around September, October, that there was a free fertilizer that was brought to Africa to be shared amongst affected countries, and one of the affected countries was Kenya. That consignment was also given to Kenya. But you remember, Rigathi Gachagua is the person who took over this fertilizer issue and the issues and everything, and said that the 3.5 billion would caution farmers against the high cost of fertilizer. So that fertilizer, as to whether it has helped the farmers, they're yet to find out. Because as far as we're concerned, like we said, the maize that was being used to bring down the cost of unga came from abroad. That was a maize that was imported, not a maize that was local. And that maize could not have come from Botswana. So, dear viewers, in that story, we sought to disclose the CS who exposed this loot all narrative. And then the people who are players here, like the KRA, there is the MP there, then there is the CS who said to have wanted a cut out of this scandal but was denied. So because of that reason, he ended up exposing the deal. So dear viewers, just tell us below the comment section what you think about this analysis. And once again, I'd like to urge you to stay safe, stay blessed until we catch up again in our next analysis.